So here we are again in the How to Sing series, the series where I want to help break down a certain singer or song to help you, and today we're covering how to sing pop, and an example we're using today is Michael Jackson's style. So the components of this pop style are going to be high larynx, breathiness, also some twang and nasal resonance, and also things like riffs and a bit of cry and a bit of vocal fry. We'll try and cover most of those today, but the really big ones I want to cover, especially with Michael Jackson here, are high larynx and a little bit of breathiness. That's really huge components for pop styles and pop singers. So let's get into this with some Michael Jackson songs. Okay, so we mentioned high larynx being a really important factor, and it is because pop is generally a thinner sound, and that thinner sound is going to come from less space with high larynx. So hand on the larynx here, guys, and where it's at resting. That's going to be pretty much a mid or neutral larynx, that resting position, but give it a swallow. And hopefully the larynx goes up. In that swallowing position, that's when the larynx is going high. You do have to be a bit careful with high larynx, and sometimes it gets a bit of a bad rap because high larynx can be a tighter coordination, so we really need to know what we're doing. And as I always say, it needs to be an option rather than a must, but if you know what you're doing, you can absolutely sing high larynx all day long, and it's a really cool sound. So hand on the larynx again, swallow. Then it goes up. So if I'm speaking here in neutral larynx, that's going to sound most like me. But if we go to that high larynx position, then it's going to sound something like this. I'm just going to sound a bit younger and a bit like a teenager again, which is fine. But then if we add in the breathiness that we talked about, the high larynx and the breathy quality, then suddenly I'm the king of pop. I sound a bit like Michael. And so, obviously I don't sound quite like Michael Jackson, but that is the coordination he was in. High larynx and breathiness, decompression, breathy vocal folds. So, high larynx and a light, slightly breathy quality. Really, he was taking this into his singing quite a lot. So, let's look at how that was translating into singing for the king of pop. So let's take that high larynx position and the breathiness a little bit into a Michael Jackson song to see if it fits. So instead of being neutral, what about sunrise? What about rain? He wasn't that. Let's go to a high larynx position. What about sunrise? What about rain? What about all the things that you said we were to gain? Then suddenly we're a little more like the king of pop. And of course the cry we mentioned a bit. Now I don't know where we are. Now I don't know. Now I don't know where we are. Oh no. You hear that quite a bit with all the best pop singers in the world. You could hear vocal fry as well. Now I don't know where we are. So that position, you hear it all the time. We could have other examples as well. What do you mean? Yeah, yeah. When you nod your head yes, but you want to say no. Getting that breathiness in. What do you mean? And of course, the other legends of pop back in the day, the Backstreet Boys, gotta love them. They didn't go, I want it. It was nowhere near that, it was high larynx. I want it that way. So we need that little bit of high larynx, that little bit of breathiness in there to really create that pop style, that pop sound. At least it's classic pop. These days, I suppose, in the charts, in terms of pop, anything goes. And that really is the cool thing about being a recording artist. You can create whatever sound you want. But just to stereotype the old classic pop sounds, then hopefully you can see with these examples of Michael Jackson, Justin Bieber, and the old school Backstreet Boys or whatever, that pop sound really did line that high larynx with the breathiness. So I hope that's helped a little bit. Get your pop voice on. It was just a quick tip here. Let me know in the comments if you want any other tips for any other styles or singers in the next episode. Thanks so much.